Welcome.
Thank you, Dave. Kevin, a nice start here, Dave. 2 consecutive aces here to start this match.
This is the men's round of 16. There's a screen serve. Referee is Will Limp, who just lost to Emmett Pichot.
This is actually our first ever live webcast, Dave, at a 3-wall event. You don't see many screens called in outdoor handball, Dave. I know I've watched the first 4 matches today. That was the first one I've seen.
The weather is absolutely perfect here right now.
Kevin Pettus, sort of one of those unheralded players here out in the Midwest, Dave. He doesn't travel all that much. He just had a baby 15 months ago, so he's not going to too many tournaments, but he's definitely a threat, Dave. He's one of those guys that we would talk about being in that pro qualifier echelon type of player.
Score is 2-0. This is the first game, men's round of 16. Kevin Pettus serving to Luis Moreno. There's a long serve as the ice cream truck goes by here on Armstrong Avenue.
Lost your attention there for a minute, Dave.
I actually took my headphones off and was running down the street. Except for that's probably the first time you've ever seen me run.
Actually, I saw you run to the In-N-Out Burger at the Simple Green U.S. Open.
Okay. Second time. There's a serve from Luis. That's a beautiful serve right there, Dave.
I've seen that serve a lot, Dave. You see Luis just comes over that ball so much. You see that reverse coming, but there's hardly anything you can do about it. Luis is not really a typical 3-wall player, Dave. He told me last night he doesn't play at all in Tucson.
Yeah, I live down there, and I've only seen him on the courts twice, and one of those was a tournament. He just does not come down and play, even though he lives about 2 minutes from the courts.
Luis is vulnerable in the back court in 3-wall, Dave. He can get that serve going. It's even more effective in 3-wall than it is in 4-wall.
Score is 2-3.
Kevin also lives in a 3-wall handball community. There's a double fault. He told me today, Dave, that he rarely plays 3-wall, much more comfortable inside.
When he does play 3-wall, it's not at Forest Park.
Well, Forest Park is actually the type of court that we'll see at the Las Vegas World Championships, Dave. That's one of the short sidewall courts, and they play with the big ball out there. He plays at a park called Kirkwood. Told me he plays out there with Ryan Willis, who's entered in this event, and also some of the other guys, Bill McGreevy, who took care of you in a money match just a couple of years ago.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The knock on Kevin right now, Dave, is that he's really not in that great a shape. He's coming off a hamstring injury, a kickball injury, actually, from about 4 months ago. He said he strained it pretty badly and had 6 weeks off. And you know, Dave, how difficult that can be to recover from.
Score is 2-4, first game. Those injuries are really hard to get over. And then when you come out to a 3-wall court and try to play with an injury, it just seems to magnify it. And you know this because you've got a little strain in your knee right now.
Kevin scoring all 3 of his points on aces down the left, Dave. Goes to it again. That's a nice looking shot right there. Luis does well to pick that ball up. You know, Dave, we talked off air for the first time in about 2 years coming into this match, and Luis Moreno has been clocked at 84 miles per hour on his serve. You know, I was telling you, I was watching him warm up throwing the ball. He's throwing that ball close to 90. We have our radar gun here. We didn't get him on the gun, but he's just got phenomenal whip on the ball and tremendous leverage.
Yeah, Luis is a junior player, right about 17 years young. The United States Handball Association had a radar gun on him, and he served the ball 84 miles an hour. That was about 6 years ago. And he's just stronger now.
I can see Kevin already looking pretty winded here just 5 minutes into this match. He's already breathing out of his mouth, trying to catch his breath. You know, that's what'll happen, Dave. If you're not playing a lot of tournaments, you come out here against the top level competition. You know, it looks like he can hang right now, but we'll see if he can maintain that stamina.
There's a score, 4-4. that 5-4 with Kevin Pettus now in the lead.
You see a shot like that, Dave. He hit that ball off his back foot. That looked good there, but that's the kind of shot that takes a lot out of you, to hit balls off your back foot when you're not using your legs.
That was a screen ball.
And that's a good lesson for people at home, Dave. When you're not using your legs and pushing into every shot, you're going to get a lot more tired a lot more quickly.
That was a long ball after the screen. Another double fault.
No, it's just a second serve. Incredible, Dave, that anyone would ever double fault in 3-ball. That's such a big area to hit into, but they do, and I've done it plenty myself. It's a nice rally there. Kevin, two nice left-handed kills there.
6-4 is the score. That's one thing about those that are watching that don't know Kevin Pettus or have watched Kevin Pettus play, is that he controls the front court. He stands up front and he cuts a lot of balls off. You don't see Kevin coming back too far.
You've also never seen him play 3-ball. But Kevin's one of those guys we talk about that's very long up there in the front court. It seems like he can reach everything. You see him lifting that front foot, falling back on his back foot, and just spiking that ball 15 feet short of the front wall.
He looks really tired even though he has the lead.
I think you can relate to that, Dave.
I was tired peeling an orange. Score is 5-6 now. This is the first game, round of 16, Luis Moreno versus Kevin the Animal Pettus.
The winner of this, Dave, will play the number 6 seed. That's yours truly. That'll be tomorrow morning for those of you following your draw sheets. We've already seen, Dave, Emma Kcac defeat Missouri State's Will Lemp. We saw Nikolai Nahorniak defeat Missouri State's Eric Hilgren. That was probably the match of the day, a tiebreaker.
That was a fun match to watch. It also took close to 2 hours to complete that one.
A couple of real nice-looking young players there, Eric Hilgren and Nick Nahorniak.
That's why the court schedule times are all messed up right now, off by about an hour, and now Kevin looks really sad. He's probably going to call a timeout. And there it is, Kevin Pettus calling that first timeout.
Sad, huh?
Oh, he looks sad.
Sad, huh? Okay.
He doesn't look very happy. It's the opposite of looking happy. You're watching the Kcac Wph Ektelon Fireball 3-wall Handball Classic here at the Kcac 3-wall courts on Armstrong Avenue in beautiful Kansas City, Kansas, alongside Dave Fink and on the camera, Omar Lemus. My name is Dave Vincent.
Last time we saw Luis, Dave, was just a couple weeks ago there in Austin. Luis losing to Paul Brady in the semifinals of the singles, and then losing in the finals with partner Sean Lenning to Duxie Walsh and Tom Sheridan. Luis told me they're going to keep playing together. They're never going to win anything, but they're going to keep doing it. Actually, I corrected them. They're 3-wall national champions currently.
That's a nice little pass shot right there from Luis. It wasn't a kill shot, and it wasn't really a pass shot. It was kind of a tweener. What do you call that?
Well, Kevin not only looks sad, but also a step slow here from what I'm used to seeing him.
The weather is absolutely beautiful today here in Kansas City after a tornado warning, a storm warning, a flood warning, and all basically Toto and Kansas and the Twister and Oz all took place about yesterday and the day before. But here today it's kind of cleared up and some big fluffy clouds out there and the wind's picked up. It's a beautiful day here at the courts.
Are you a meteorologist or a webcast?
I'm actually a media bumbleist.
I can see that. Actually, you think of the Midwest, Kansas City in July, and you're thinking about very high humidity and up there right around 100 degrees, but you're right, Dave. It's a nice breeze out here. It's about 78 degrees courtside, a little bit overcast. It's beautiful.
The premier courts in America right here for 3-wall.
I agree with that. This is actually called the Handball House, Dave. This is owned by the Kansas City handball community. They bought this house and they built on this land. Actually, the players here pay an initiation fee, Dave, and then they pay a yearly fee to belong to this club. So it's actually a really cool setup, Dave.
It's a side out.
It's also good, Dave, for when you get thrown out by your wife or girlfriend. They've got this house here to crash in. It's better than your car.
The score is 12-7. First game, men's round of 16. Luis Moreno serving to the animal. Kevin Pettus, referee, is Will Limp.
He's looking pretty tame, though, right now, the animal. That's a nice return. That's the best return we've seen Kevin hit with his left. He drove that ball right back down the left wall. As we get a look at Emmett Pashot here taking a seat. He's our #1 seed here by virtue of winning the 3-wall nationals last year.
As he should be. Sitting also in the front court, front row, is legendary Fred Lewis, who's won, I think, 3 singles championships, United States Handball Association, back in the 70s, early 80s.
Actually, Emmett will be moving out of California, Dave, in August, and not ready to divulge the location of that, but I can tell you he will not be living in California after this summer. Didn't seem to garner much interest there from you.
Huh.
Not sure if we got much from our viewers, but I'm interested.
Score is 14-7. Make that 15-7. I'm sure there's a lot of viewers that really can't wait to find that new location. Is this going to be like the LeBron James thing where
well, there's going to be a press conference tomorrow night.
Nice shot, Pettus.
Kevin looks like he's been out there for 3 hours already. This match is just about 10 minutes young.
7 serves 15, first game, round of 16. Kevin Pettus serving to Luis Moreno.
That's a tough call for the referee to make, Dave, because the player is completely shading that line and also nearly running into him. There's a second double fault.
Oh, that's tough to get a double fault on that, especially when the first one looked like it actually was in bounds.
Actually, I thought the first one was out. Haven't seen 2 double faults in the same game since Austin. Charlie Shanks double faulting twice against Alan Garner in the tiebreaker. Sorry to have to bring that up, Charlie, but I'm just doing my job.
Well, actually, didn't we see Kevin double fault twice already here?
Well, that's what I said. This is the first time I've seen that since then.
All right.
Yeah.
That could have been triple faulted, but we appreciate the fact that you've tuned in to this live broadcast here alongside my broadcast partner, Dave Fink. My name is Dave Vincent. Quick timeout call. We would also appreciate if you would join the WPH and help us continue to do these events. WPHpass.com. That's online at www.wphpass.com. Get your membership. We'll give you a free dry fit t-shirt, a Dave Chapman instructional video on top of the other things that you can buy as part of that membership.
Kevin just totally off balance, Dave, hitting that return with his left hand. You can just see he's not squaring himself to the side wall. He's off his back foot every time. Just doesn't look like he's reading Luis's serve well at all. And that, you know, Dave, if you've never played Luis, it's very hard to get a read on where he's going. And Kevin looks like he's really struggling with that.
7 serve 16.
Dave, we have a lot more great handball action here tonight in the round of 16 in this Kansas City WPH Fireball 3-wall most ever prize money offered event here. We've got the blonde bombshell, Alan Garner, stepping onto the cement for the first time in tournament play in a couple of years. He'll be taking on Minnesota's Dreamboat, Andy Nett.
16-8. 2 of the hardest hitters in the game.
We also have Dave Chapman. He'll be facing David Brainerd. Bill Mahilos also in action here tonight. Bill Mahilos definitely a sleeper here in this event. He plays a lot of 3-wall. He's seated 10th in this event. We see a great leave there from Luis. That ball just about 2 inches out, and he knew to pull his hand down there.
He wanted it. 18-8.
That's a tough serve.
Wow. I'm surprised Kevin got that ball back that far.
Well, it looked like that ball was going to hop out of the court. Caught the edge of that side wall. The side walls, Dave, come back about 2 feet beyond the back line.
These courts are constructed absolutely perfect.
Very solid.
That ball almost hit Kevin on the way down.
That was actually a complete whiff on a ball that was moving about 5 miles per hour.
Now we're going to have a glove change.
Kevin Pettus, Dave, has a lot of big wins in his career around these parts. He's got some state titles. He's beat Tommy Little. They're actually great rivals. Kevin also with wins over Eric Hilgren. We do have our statistician working here, and she'll be looking up the all-time records. But regardless, Dave, Kevin's had a lot of big wins in his career. A lot of big championships.
Now he's becoming a legend in this neck of the woods here. You're watching the Kansas City Athletic Club Ektelon Wph 3-Wall Fireball Classic, Kansas City, Kansas, outdoor at the 3-wall courts. My name is Dave Vincent, along with Dave Fink, watching the men's round of 16 between Luis Moreno and Kevin Pettus. Again, we talked about it earlier, but we have a special offer if you buy a WPH membership at wphpass.com. We will throw in a dry fit t-shirt that has the WPH logo on it, as well as the Dave Chapman instructional handball video, as well as all of the other things that you get: free webcasting, video uploads, membership to the magazine, and so much more. It's all there.
Luis leading here. Luis is the current RFC singles and doubles champion. He slammed there. The RFC quickly becoming known as the best 4-wall pro event on the East Coast. So make sure that you make plans for that. Bring your WPH membership with you.
I believe the score was 8-18. That ball right on the line. Luis thought it was long.
Will Lemp is our referee. He actually won his round of 32 match today, Dave. He beat Nick Scherzer, our tournament director. Good match.
Will Lemp moves over to the left side so we can see if that ball is short, and that ball was good right over the line.
You know, I don't see players using that strategy enough, Dave. Set up a couple real deep serves, get your opponent on his heels, and then drive a short one in there.
Score is 10-19. Make that 19-10.
We talk a lot, Dave, about handball being that's out in the street.
That ball
handball being the perfect game. I think this is the perfect game within handball. This is my favorite code of handball. So much fun out here. Getting a little sun. Great workout.
Our camera operator, Omar Lemus, during the next timeout is going to pan out to the crowd, and you'll see what we get to see out here. And that is these seats that have been reserved. Local area handball players making donations to sit courtside to watch the game's very best 3-wall players. And there it is. Luis Moreno winning the first game 21-10, defeating Kevin Pettus here. Like we said, it is just the round of 16. We have more matches coming up today. That's just the first game. And we are going to have game number 2 coming up right around the corner. You make sure to stick around. We also want to just remind you that our web store is full of gear and handballs you can purchase, as well as gloves. You can get your memberships there. We have shirts, backpacks, and so much more. It's online in the web store at www.thehandballstore.com. Go online now, since you're here watching this live webcast, www.thehandballstore.com, and get your goods. Okay, Dave, so first game, Luis Moreno started off really cold, but he caught his bearings rather quickly and adapted there.
Looked like a combination, Dave, of Luis getting more comfortable and Kevin just exhausted. Right there in about the middle of that first game, you could see Kevin really lose that jump in his step. Really looked lethargic out there and really tired.
Luis went on a 17-4 run to close out that first game to win 21-10. We're going to take a quick timeout here from the courts in Kansas City. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. Make sure to stick close for Omar Lemus and Dave Fink. My name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back. Stay close here at WPHLive.tv. And we are back. Game number 2, 0-0. Luis Moreno serving to Kevin Pettus.
And there you see that, Dave, just a half a step slow. Maybe being generous with a half a step, but that's a ball that I've seen Kevin get to and roll out.
Wow, that's such a tough serve right there from Luis.
I don't really agree with that.
You thought it was out, or
No, I don't think that's that tough a serve. You definitely don't want to hit that side wall on the serve and 3-wall.
Well, he hit the crack about 37 feet back. But a slow Kevin Pettus didn't go for it like most players would overrun that. He just stayed there and the crack came right to him.
That's a nice hop there from Kevin. Luis does want to get that ball back.
And to get the side out here.
You see Kevin off his back foot every time. Kevin took that one step back. He needed to take about 3 steps back there, Dave, and move himself into that shot.
Score is 1-0. This is game number 2. Young Moreno beats Kevin the first game, 21-10. I find this kind of interesting, Dave, and you know from your years of playing and touring around, you hear about local legends when you come into town and you say, tell me about this guy. Does he have a good left? Does he have a good right? Tell me what's so good about his game. Well, Luis found out that he was playing Kevin Pettus. He's never met Kevin. He's only read about him. He hasn't watched him play 3-wall or 4-wall. So he was asking me the 100 questions about Kevin Pettus. What does he do? Why is he so good? How come, you know, he was a little nervous about coming in here because he's read about Kevin's superiority. You have to remember Kevin won a collegiate national championship, as has Luis in 4-wall. So even a guy as good as Luis, who's the number 3 seed, still asking questions about his competitor. That gives a lot of respect out to Kevin Pettus.
But ultimately, Dave, there's a reason you're the number 3 seed. I would go out on a limb and say that a number 3 seed has never lost to a local legend in any format.
The score is 5-0. Second serve. That ball over the line. Just beautiful serve right there from Luis. He goes deep, and then he comes back in just over the short line.
Luis doesn't give you any reprieve on his second serve. His second serve, a lot of times, Dave, better than his first. There's another ace there for Luis.
That's kind of taking a page out of Sean Linning's book. Sean says he just goes for everything. He doesn't care about getting the ball into play like a lot of players just throw it into play. But he said no, he goes for that better serve on the second one because most of the players aren't looking for it.
Right, you're almost take that side release after a fault, thinking you'll get a serve to look at. Kevin really laboring out there right now. And Dave, you know how it is in sports. Luis is pretty much a full-time professional athlete, and he's playing against a guy that, you know, has a family and works, and it's hard to maintain that type of endurance and that sharpness when you've got that going on. LeBron James doesn't work from 9 to 5 and
go out and hone in his craft
in the NBA. That's true.
Oh, that's a beautiful serve right there from Kevin Pettus.
Kevin's got nice action on that natural down the left.
Score is 3-7. Kevin lost the first game 21-10. Goes for a crack.
That was an awkward looking shot. Luis does well with that. That's good awareness there from Luis, Dave. He knew Kevin was off the court. All he had to do was just guide that ball down the right wall, and he did.
That serve is almost ungettable right there. Kevin's going to have to play in. And then Luis hits those deep serves that are difficult to get back.
That's really the way to beat Luis in 3 walls. If you can keep him in the back court, he's not that comfortable back there. He's really a front court specialist. Luis losing to Emmett last year in the semifinals in Toledo, Dave. Lost pretty badly. Emmett was able to neutralize his serve, and from there just took control of every rally. Like that return there from Luis. Fist sets up this setup, and he takes care of that.
Eight serves 3. That's going to be a long ball. We're watching the Kansas City Athletic Club, Wph Ektelon. 3-wall Fireball Classic in Kansas City, Kansas. Here at the 3-wall course.
Kevin almost reacting, not anticipating at all out here.
Going to be a timeout call from Kevin Pettus here as he comes back to get a sip of water, and Luis Moreno finds himself into the driver's seat here. You have a pretty good mindset of what the bracket looks like. Luis is playing into the 2 seed, which would be Emmett. It would be a rematch then if he made it that far. Is that right?
No, actually, Emmett's the number 1
Number 1
seed.
excuse me, plays into Dave Chapman.
That's true.
That's if he gets by you in the next round.
That's true.
Now, you earlier today played Omar Lemus, and for those that are
actually Marco,
sorry, I said
no
Omar.
S, just Marco
Lemus, and a lot of people talking about his power for such a young kid. He's about 18, 19 years
really
old.
Extraordinary. I never saw any power like that, particularly from up over his shoulders. Just incredible.
9-3 score here. Look at that reverse. Kevin thought it was out. Referee calling it in, 10-3. You can see Luis really telegraphing that ball, that reverse. There's a natural. No, it was reverse, excuse me.
There's the right hand from Kevin Pettus that we've seen so much of, Dave. You actually had a chance to spar with Kevin Pettus, Dave, just about 2.5 years ago in Kansas City.
I couldn't think at that time how this guy could beat me. He seems awkward in there, but he hits the ball 1 or 2 inches high.
He couldn't think how you could beat anyone after playing you.
That's a good point.
Kevin looks like he might be carrying an extra couple of LBs there.
We call them DVs.
Okay.
A couple DVs.
You see that Luis not that strong there over the shoulder. That's not a good shot in 3-wall. Luis gets himself parallel with the floor there. Rolls that ball. Nice shot.
12-3.
Actually, Dave, you have yet to mention the women's Kcac Fireball Pro Singles Pro Stop that'll be held tomorrow. That'll be featuring 2 of the top 10 players in the world, as well as Emily McMackle, Tom Little's sister Meredith, and a couple other top ladies here at this event.
I think Emily's going to play, right?
That's true, she is.
And then Bailey Chandler is going to be in that. Courtney Pachot.
Bailey's really made a name for herself, Dave, since the Wph World Collegiate event that was held in Tempe in February. Bailey advancing to the final there, losing a thrilling tiebreaker there to the Irish woman.
Score is 3-14. Second game. Kevin Pettus serving to Luis Moreno. You see that ball come back?
Yeah, I was planning to be here probably until 6:30.
Nice shot there from Kevin. You see him take his time there. He had Luis on his hip behind him.
So, we'll still be playing handball. It's up to you. It's 7 o'clock.
4-14. Men's round of 16. That's a good serve right there. That sets up what just transpired there.
Good strength there from Kevin actually had a open stance fly kill there, and he rolled that ball down the middle. That's the problem with hitting that open stance, Dave, is that he's trying to hit that ball straight down the right wall, but without squaring his stance there, that ball comes back to the middle. That's his 3rd double fall of the match. I'm keeping track of that one. We don't need Gene Casamoto, our statistician, for that.
14-5. Oh, that ball just flattened out.
You see Kevin should be moving in there. Luis has only 1 shot with that ball stuck on the left wall, and that's to hit that kill right down the middle. Kevin should be anticipating that. He takes 3 or 4 steps forward. He picks that ball up and shovels it back down the right. But no chance to do that when you hang out on that back line.
Score is 15-5 here, and I guarantee you Kevin Pettus has never lost in the round of 16 at this tournament in years gone by. Timeout call now from Kevin Pettus. 16-5 is the score. You're watching the Kcac Wph Ektelon 3-wall Fireball Classic here in Kansas City, Kansas. Dave Fink and Dave Vincent reminding you to join the WPH. Buy your membership at wphpass.com. That's www.wphpass.com. As a special incentive for this live webcast, we're going to give you a free WPH dry fit t-shirt and the Dave Chapman instructional handball video that you've been hearing about, on top of all the other things that we give you for the membership. wphpass.com, it's online. Game 1 went to Luis Moreno as he defeated Kevin Pettus 21-10. Here, though, he's up 16-5. Game 2 as he tries to make his way to an already waiting Dave Fink.
A lot of people ask me, that's true, Dave, if they can purchase any video by itself as a WPH member, or if
members or non-members can purchase.
Okay. And the WPH has produced videos from college handball, 3-wall handball,
juniors all the way to the pros.
Okay.
We have the Irish Nationals, the World Championships.
Even had a presence there at the Canadian Nationals, 2008.
That's right, we've done the Canadian Nationals. And we have videos for everything that you've seen on a live webcast. We can direct you to a place to buy it, whether it's at our web store or the USHA's web store. 5-17. That's a short ball. Kevin had a little wrinkle on that.
That's a nice strategy there from Kevin. Kevin runs that ball straight down the right wall, forces a weak return there from Luis, and shoots that right corner with Luis 43 feet from the front wall.
6 serve 17. That's where Kevin is really dangerous right there. And that's the Kevin that I remember.
Off balance, cross court, front wall, side wall.
Maybe even a fist shot.
It wasn't textbook, but it worked.
He just looks unorthodox when he does it, but he does it a lot fairly well.
I feel like right there, Dave, is a good example of Kevin being a little bit uncomfortable in the through-wall court. In the floor-wall court, he lets that ball bounce into the right wall, backs up, and shoots it. Rush that ball.
Kevin, good job, buddy.
Kind of a sloppy point there.
It's like Luis is having trouble with his depth up front. And a lot of it is those strange shadow that's being casted on the front wall. It kind of gives you an optical illusion.
For whatever reason, Dave, and I haven't figured it out yet, kills that look like you'd be able to easily pick up, you can't get to in through wall. I think because you're playing just a little bit farther back than you're used to in four wall, that you see that kill that's 6 inches or 10 inches high. In four wall, you'd get to that ball with no problem. In three wall, you're just that 1 or 2 steps farther back in the court, makes those retrieves a little bit tougher.
The score is 18-7. Oh, that ball just jumped off the front wall.
Hopefully there'll be a bunch next week.
7 serves 18. Kevin Pettus serving to Luis Moreno. Kevin from St. Louis, Missouri, just a couple hours down the road, and Luis Moreno from Tucson, Arizona.
That's a shot that Luis Moreno hits so consistently. It looks lucky, but every time that ball hits the right side wall on the serve, he just sort of underhand scoops that ball, and it rolls.
Now they get a brand new ball. Kevin just hit his second ball out of play. Not having a great day here on the courts. Kevin's got 3 double faults and 2 lost balls so far.
This ball is really fast here, Dave, out here at the Kcac, this fireball.
This is match point here.
And that should do it right here. And it does.
And that's a win for Luis Moreno, now advancing to the round of 8 to play you tomorrow at what time? Central Standard Time?
Not sure.
Okay, so you don't know what time you're playing.
That's
pretty
true.
Focused.
And focus on the webcasting. I think I'm doing pretty well.
You played Luis in the quarterfinals of the Nationals last year as well. So now that you've...
Actually, I did the 3-wall Nationals last year in Toledo.
Score, Lou.
The score there for this game against Kevin Pettus between Luis and Kevin, 21-10, 21-7. You're watching the Kcac Wph Ektelon Fireball 3-wall Handball Classic here, Kansas City, Kansas. Alongside Omar Lemus on the cameras and Dave Fink. My name is Dave Vincent. We are going to take a quick break here and get ready for another match coming up right around the corner. Make sure to tell your friends about this live webcast. If you have to pick up the phone and actually text them or call them, whatever you have to do, let them know about the live webcast so they can tune in to watch some great handball this weekend here in Kansas City. Also tell them about the WPH memberships at WPHpass.com. That's WPHpass.com, all part of the handball store. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in Kansas City in just a bit. For Dave Fink and Omar, my name is Dave Vincent. You stick with us.